Hi everyone, welcome to my channel. Today I'll be sharing a double page layout using 6 photos, and I am going to be following along with the Blue Skies workshop from Close to My Heart. So thanks for joining me again if you are a returning subscriber, and if you're not, be sure to click on that subscribe button and also hit the notification bell so you'll know once I upload new videos. I am going to be following about 2 to 3 of these designs for the remainder of May, where I will be doing the double page layouts and multiple photos, of course. So if you want to see more videos like this one that I'm sharing with you today, go ahead and click that subscribe button. So here I'm just pulling out my Blue Skies collection and the coordinating cardstock with that beautiful UV coating on there, that embossed look, and I am gonna go ahead and trim those down to use on my background. But first up, I will be stamping a few images that I'm gonna use as embellishments on my layout. And you will notice once I am doing this process, I do not have my photos. I ran out of ink. So instead, I'm going to use some photo placeholders on this layout. And the layout consists of some 4x6 prints as well as some 3x4s. Of course, you can go ahead and change that around as you like, and just keeping that basic design. So here are my photo placeholders, and I did get those from Close to My Heart on their website, and I'll go ahead and link that in my description box if you're interested. And of course, you can create those yourself just using some white cardstock. So the first thing I'm going to do would be to print out some embellishments, actually stamp out some embellishments using this beautiful day stamp set and thin cuts from Close to My Heart. And if you wanted to, you can follow along and stamp those out with me, or you can just use embellishments you already have in your stash. So here I'm using my Pixie ink pad to stamp out 2 flowers, and I also need 3 leaves for my embellishment clusters. And you can see there, once I'm stamping these out on my white cardstock, I'm gonna hold my stamp in place for just a few moments, and that's something you will need to do if you want to get a really great impression. If you remove it too soon, all of the ink might not have transferred over to that cardstock. So just hold it down for a few moments to get a really good impression. Now once I have these 2 flowers and those 3 leaves all stamped out, I'm gonna go ahead and use my thin cuts, and this comes with the stamps. There are options for just the stamps or the stamps and thin cuts, and I'm going to use those to cut out those floral pieces. So here I'm going to use a stamp set to create a journaling card to use on my layout, and I do not have the exact stamp set they used in the workshop, so I'm just going to substitute with this one. And I also changed the color ink that they use on that workshop as well. So I'm going to add those 3 hearts using the sapphire ink, and they used a corner stamp to create those squiggly lines, and I do not have that one, so I'm just going to use my blue ink fine liner micron and create those squiggly lines myself. Now I do want to mention, if you are interested in getting the Blue Skies collection, it's only available throughout the month of May and until supplies last, and I will go ahead and link that down below. So here I'm going to prepare my background now, and you can see I'm using the embossed cardstock, and it is a coordinating cardstock for the Blue Skies collection. On the directions for the workshop, they did use a plain sapphire cardstock, but I really love this embossed look behind my layers, and I choose to use that one instead. Now, I do not want to waste any of this beautiful cardstock, so you can see here I'm gonna gut out the center part that you will not see, and once you look at my process here, it'll all make sense in the end, and I'll have that little centerpiece to save and use on a future layout. So just an idea, if you're not using the Blue Skies collection and you do not have that pattern paper that I'm going to be using to the left side of this page that already have part of my title on there, you can just create a cluster using some embellishments, some floral pieces, and add a title yourself using alphas or thickers and create that element yourself. Now I am gonna go ahead and adhere all 3 of my strips on this cardstock in just a few moments, and you can see there I did not cut all the way to the end, did not want to cut into my cardstock that you're going to be seeing here. And I'm just going to use my T-square ruler to line up all of my pieces nice and straight. I am using that pattern paper to the left side that have part of my title on there. I'm going to use that teal cardstock that is the coordinating cardstock for the Blue Skies collection with the embossed look, and I'm also going to use some white daisy cardstock on the end. Now once I remove that little piece in the center of my cardstock, my blue cardstock, you'll see I have that gutted part there, and I need to just make all of those pieces that I just added a little bit more sturdy. So I'm going to use some washi tape that I hardly ever use, and I'm going to add that washi tape all across those seams just to keep them in place and make that layer a little bit more sturdy. So now I'm going to add my photo placeholders on my mats that I created using some sapphire cardstock. On the design, they did use some red cardstock to mat the photos with, some candy apple cardstock, but I decided to go with the blue. And I'm just adding about an 1/8 of an inch all around where my photo would be. Here I'm going to lay out the photos exactly as they are on the design, and also add in the embellishment clusters exactly where they are on the design. Later on, I do go in once I'm complete with both pages, and I will add a few touches of my own. So I'm gonna go ahead and do the design exactly as it is on the workshop, but I also add some personal touches towards the end, adding in some more embellishments. So there I added that strip of pattern paper to the top of that photo, and that is a 4x6 photo. And I'm gonna add in the flower and 2 leaves that I printed off, that I stamped out before. You'll see there I am adding some foam adhesive behind the floral piece, and that way it's lifted off the page just to add a little bit of dimension. And then I'll use some liquid adhesive to adhere those leaves. I also will go ahead and add a subtitle right below the word wonderful. And I cannot remember exactly what it says, but you will see a close-up look at this page once I'm completed with it. And I believe the last thing I'm going to add to this page would be a wooden arrow on the top of that photo, really close to where that floral piece is. So here I'm just adding in that wooden arrow, and I'm just using that liquid glass to keep it in place. So here I'm going to give you guys a look at this finished page, and then I'm going to begin working on the second half of this 2-page layout. Now I am going to go ahead and gut this the same exact way like I did with the first background. I'm just using that as a template as to how much I want to remove, and I'll do it just the same way that I did before. Once I'm completed with that, I am going to add my strips in. So here you can see I'm using a floral piece, another piece of that teal cardstock, and it's actually called Lagoon. That color is called Lagoon, and I'm using some white daisy cardstock as the background. I'm gonna go ahead and join up both of my pages here just to make sure they're all lined up nice and straight together, and I just added a bit of washi tape there just to keep it in place. And now I'm gonna add in my photos where they would be. So you can see there I have my journaling card, I have my 3 photos, and I decided to go ahead and mat my journaling card on that candy apple red instead, and that way my photos will stand apart from my journaling card. I am going to join up both sides of this 2-page layout just to get the top strip of journaling card and photos lined up nice and straight in a horizontal design, and that will help me line up the other 2 photos, that's the other 1 photo that's gonna go below that 4x6. Actually, there are 2 photos that's gonna go below the 4x6, and those sizes would be 3x4. Now, like I said before, you can definitely play around with the size of your photos that you use on this layout and just use this as a guide for the layout design. Once I'm done adding my photos, I'll go ahead and begin embellishing the right side of this 2-page layout. So here I am bringing in another piece of that pattern paper that I added to that 4x6 photo cluster on the left page. I'm bringing part of that pattern paper to the right page as well. I'm also going to add in my second flower that I stamped out before and that leaf that I have left over. I did add some foam adhesive behind the flower, and I'm just going to adhere the leaf with some liquid adhesive. Now I am adding in another arrow, but I'm going to place that arrow on top of the flower. I'm going to use some liquid adhesive to keep that in place. Now on the design, they used one of these hearts, and I'm going to place that on some foam adhesive as well and lifting it off the page. That way I have a little bit of dimension on there. So now that I completed both sides of this layout using the design, I'm going to add a few touches of my own just to personalize it and make it my own. I'm going to begin doing that by adding in some of these acrylic white hearts to my clusters. And to adhere those in place, I'll use some of that liquid glass. And these acrylic hearts are from Close to My Heart. I'll go ahead and link these in my description box. I also add in some sequins, also from Close to My Heart, and these are called Crafty. Now, in this pack, you get various colors, and they all go really nicely with this collection. It's a beautiful mix of sequins. There are also some really cute flowers, some blue flowers in there as well. So once I have them all laid out next to my clusters, I'm just going to use that liquid glass to keep those in place as well. And here you can get a close-up look at both pages. So I hope you guys enjoy the process today. If you did, be sure to leave me a comment, let me know what you think. And if you are interested in any of these products, I'll have them all linked in my description box. And be sure to come back soon. I am going to be completing another double page multiple photo layout in a few days and uploading it here to my channel. So I want to thank you all for watching today, and until my next video, bye.